And please, everybody, please give a warm welcome for our next speaker, Minh Quan.
Thank you, MCs, and hello, everyone. How do you feel today? You good? You happy? You excited? Anyway, thank you so much for having me today. And finally, I want to say, welcome to my first TEDx speech. So, before we start, let me ask you some things. Have you ever felt exhausted even though you were doing everything right? Raise your hand, please. Okay, I can see it's a lot of hands right here. Thank you so much. It means you were working hard, staying busy, and keeping up with everything around you. And yet, something still found missing in yourself. Initially, I thought the solution was so simple that I just needed to work harder. Yeah, and I used to truly believe that hard work was enough. For so long time, that belief shaped almost every decision I made. And I thought that as long as I kept pushing myself, staying busy, and trying to keep up, everything would eventually fall into place. So I worked harder. I pushed myself academically, chasing grades and constant improvement. I pushed myself socially. I'm saying yes to every meeting, every event, and every responsibility. I pushed myself professionally. I'm taking on the leadership roles in my university club and proving I could handle more. Even my appearance had to look composed, confident, and in control. From the outside, it looked like progress, it looked like discipline. But from the inside, it felt totally different. It felt like constant motion, always busy, always moving, yet strangely disconnected. I was doing a lot, but I was not sure what any of it was truly leading to. So that was 1 week during the third semester that I remember very, very clearly. I had 2 major assignment deadlines for 2 different modules. At the same time, I was preparing for a charity football event that we collaborated with another club in our university. Yeah, and at that time, look at the imagings. I was so tired, right? Yes. And in that time, I feel like, yes, in all that movement, I suddenly stopped. And a question appeared in my mind. Why am I doing all of this? Look at that. I was preparing for a charity football event. And what upset to me most was that I could not answer this question clearly. I wasn't exhausted in the usual sense. I wasn't burned out from doing too much. In fact, I was doing everything well. Look at that. I was meeting my deadlines. I was getting good grades. The charity football event we organized was so successful. We raised money. The team delivered. And people congratulated us. From the outside, it looked like progress. But what I felt inside was something harder to name. Confusion. I was always moving, always walking, always trying to improve. Yet I felt strangely disconnected from my own effort. And I began to realize that I was putting too much energy into movement without knowing whether it's what actually building my future or simply helping me to give up. Moreover, I was constantly trying to catch up with people around me, with expectations, with a pace that never seemed to slow down. Everyone else looked busy, productive, and certain. And I assumed that if I met that speech, I would eventually feel the same certainty. But instead of clarity, I felt emptier. Therefore, looking back, I realized that I wasn't really putting in my effort. I was reacting. And the truth is, this is not just my story. This is happening to many of us today. Think about how often this happens. I know most of the in the room are using TikTok, right? So, you open TikTok and you see someone else sharing how they build a business at 21 as a fresh graduation. A few minutes later, someone else is posting waking up at 5 a.m. and working non-stop. On Instagram or Facebook, you can see achievement, promotion, and milestone, and all of it are not only carefully displayed, but also moving very fast. Therefore, without realizing it, something will shift inside you. When you look at someone else's success, you will start to think, maybe I should be doing that too. Not because it truly excited you, but because everyone else seemed to be moving in that direction. So you try to moving in that direction too. So you try to give up, you add more goals, you chase new skills, you put yourself harder. It's make you look like the ambitious person, man. But from the inside, a quiet question begin to form in your mind. Is this really your directions, or you just reacting to what you see? And this is how effort quietly loses its meaning. In the digital world, comparison doesn't tell us what we truly want to become. It just tells us what is visible. And when effort is guided by visibility rather than intention, when it is driven by fear rather than intention, it will start to drain something inside us, not immediately, but slowly. You can still achieve your result, you can still meet your expectation, you can still appear productive. But over time, the effort becomes hollow. The motivation fades, the anxiety grows, and the inner fire, the things that one made effort feel meaningful, starts to burn out. So, the question right here is, how can we reignite the inner fire? Not by doing more, not by moving faster, not by reacting better, but by changing the way we direct our effort. And for me, it started with 3 simple shifts. The first shift I want to tell you is pause. And honestly, pausing wasn't peaceful for me. It was really uncomfortable because when everything finally became quiet, no deadlines, no notification, no meetings, I had to face a really difficult truth. I had become very good at achieving things, but I did not know why I wanted them. So pausing is not about slowing down. It's about being honest enough to face with the question you have been avoiding for such a long time. The second shift I want to talk about is choose. Choosing, one word, it seems simple, right? But it's actually terrifying for me. Yes, honestly. Because when you finally choose based on your own intention, you can no longer blame to the world if things don't work out. I had to stop asking myself, what will make me look successful? And start asking different questions. If no one were watching me, would I still want to do this? And that single question changed the way I think about efforts. The third shift I want to tell you is commit. Committing to your own directions is much quieter than chasing applause. It means saying no to things that look impressive but feel empty. It means accepting that your pace might be slower than the others. And that's really uncomfortable in a world that measures everything. Yes, it's really uncomfortable, but something interesting will happen. When you finally commit to your own directions, the effort starts to feel different. It feels lighter, clearer, and more meaningful. Because now your energy is no longer spent trying to give up. It's spent building something that actually belongs to you. Yes, finally, this is the final thought I want to leave you with today. Look at that. It's a mirror, right? Yes. And I want to say the clearer directions is not something you can find online. You cannot searching or scrolling to find your right directions. It also doesn't hidden in someone else's success story. Sometimes the clearer directions appear only when you stop looking outward and start looking inward. When you stand in front of the mirror and choose to believe in the person you see there. Choose to believe in the person you see in the mirror. It means yourself. Yes, because the direction that truly lasts has never come from the outside approval. It has always started there. It has always started from yourself. So keep going, keep moving, keep trying, keep working. Not because the world is watching you, but because now you already know why you are moving. And when effort finally has directions, even to the small step can be matter with you. Thank you so much for listening.